Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. As you can see, we are in natural light today, and that is because we're doing a no makeup look today. In my last chatty get ready with me, I spoke about going to my parents' farm in North Carolina and how in the summer when I'm gonna be outside, I tend to go for like a no makeup, very simple, very like fresh, light look, and it's so easy and fast. And since it's a no makeup look, I decided I was pretty sure that that was gonna be kind of like best conveyed via natural light so that you can kind of get a better picture of like the true color and tone of everything that I'm using today. This look is so easy. It's 5 products. I have lash extensions, so I know I'm cheating a little bit because I don't need mascara, but if you need a mascara, it's 6 products, which is not a lot compared to how many products I normally use. All right, let's clip my hair back so we can get started. So really the trick in any makeup look where you're trying to use less products than normal is that you're gonna use products for more than one function. This first product is one of those that's gonna pull double duty today. It is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I just put this straight on my face from the little bottle because I don't share mine with anyone, so I think it's okay, even though it's not the most hygienic. And I blend it out with a 101 brush from BK Beauty. You could use any foundation brush. I just find that when I use a brush, it doesn't blend away the glow. So this product is gonna pull double duty. We're also gonna use it as a highlighter after we get our base on. If we need any like spots that we feel like need a little bit of a little more glow to them, we'll go back in with this. There's a thunderstorm coming through, so you might see some lighting changes. I apologize for that, but hey, that's natural for you. For base, I'm going to be using this La Mer Tinted Moisturizer. This was in my July favorites. I am so in love with this tinted moisturizer. It's just so skin-like. Oh my gosh. So this is the Radiant Skin Tint from La Mer. This has an SPF of 30, which is awesome. I always use SPF as part of my morning skincare routine, but I do love having it, if I can, in my base product because I feel like I'm just getting an extra layer on there. And when you're as pale as I am, you need all the SPF that you can get. So I like to put this just on like a tissue or a little palette, and then I do use a foundation brush with it. You can use your fingers. I've done both, but I just like this way the best. I feel like I can just get the most kind of control over how much product I'm putting down because I don't like to use a ton. Now, what I love about this product, and I spoke about this in my favorites, is that this is just so skin-like. And I'm only gonna do like 1/2 of my face with this to start so that you can see how much it just really looks like skin. It's amazing. I just feel like this is one of the most, it's not just like the tone or the color of it, which if you were curious, I am in shade Light 22. I put a lot of thought into what made me feel like this is just such the perfect tinted moisturizer. And I've come to the conclusion that it really is the finish. The finish looks exactly like skin. It doesn't look like a makeup finish. You know, it's not too dewy, it's not too matte, it's just the perfect, I mean, I sound so redundant saying that it's like a skin finish, but really you'll see, I mean, it's just my skin but better. It's really so beautiful. This side has product, this side doesn't. It just evens my skin tone out, it blurs my pores a little bit, and still looks like skin. This does not look like I have makeup on. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna finish up this side of my face and we'll move on. So next up, I am going to go in with a little bit of concealer. I use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer just because I trust it so much. I make sure I get a little bit right here, and then I just barely get it along here. I'm not trying to like really like brighten up the entire middle of my face. I'm just trying to lighten up my under eye. So this is markedly less than what I use when I'm doing like a full face. I just kind of want to get right here. You can see where I've put it. And then I just blend it in with a sponge. If I have any redness around the nose, I might put some right here. I don't really have very much today, so I'm gonna skip that but I will put just a little bit down the center of my nose. Again, just a small amount of product, but just to brighten up a little bit. Another thing I love about this base is you can see right here, I still have some color in my cheeks. This base has not, completely washed my skin tone out. You can still really see my skin under there. And I really appreciate that when, I'm going for a no makeup look. I actually really appreciate that kind of all the time at this point. But especially when I'm going for this look, I definitely want to be able to see skin. All right, moving on to blush. This is another product that's going to be pulling double duty. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow. I have been absolutely loving this. This is the color of Passion. So I'm going to take a little bit. I'm actually going to go in with my finger and I kind of just tap just like a little bit. I do like a circle on the apples, kind of like a little bit of circle there, and then pull it up a little bit onto my cheekbones, and then I take a sponge to blend it out. I go in just a little bit at a time because when you have such a sheer base like I do today and you're going for like a no makeup look, I think going in a little bit of product at a time, even if you have to build it up, is going to be your best friend. I mean, if you're in a hurry, this is definitely a very forgiving product. That's one thing I'll say about all the products I'm using today is they're forgiving. These are not products that you're going to have to really fiddle a ton with. But if I have the time to just build them up slowly to be sure that I'm getting the exact amount of color I want, I do it. One suggestion I have for blush when you're going for like a no makeup look is if you know where it is that you flush when you get like embarrassed or hot, follow that. This right here is exactly where I flush whenever it's too hot or I get a little bit embarrassed. So I follow that same kind of guide when I'm doing my cheek color most of the time, but especially when I'm going for a very natural look like today. All right, now I'm gonna just take this on a sponge straight away. I'm gonna go a little bit right here above my brow, just barely. And I'm also gonna take a little bit right here, just right along like the crease of my eye right there, the outer like half of my eye, just to kind of give some definition to my eye without using another product and without going in with like an actual eye color, like an actual eyeshadow. This is gonna be much more natural because it's matching the cheeks. So it's gonna be much more of like a true to skin kind of tone going on. All right, now we're gonna go in with a powder because this is very dewy and I don't wanna be this like wet looking. The one that I have been using has been the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. I also like the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. Any powder that you like that feels kind of blurring is my suggestion for this look, just because kind of what I'm trying to do when I do a no makeup is I want to look just like me. I just want to enhance, number one, but number two, I'm kind of always conscious about my, like any texture, just because I have dry skin and my skin turnover is not super fast. So having like a blurring powder for me, if that's a skin concern of yours as well, is going to help kind of even out any little texture issues that might be going on. So I'm gonna take my powder brush. I just take the powder, I literally press, and that's it. I also tap off. I don't want a lot of powder. I just barely want just a touch. I don't want it to be too much of a cover. So again, just press in there, pull out, tap off. I'm also gonna get on my jaw and I'm gonna get right through here. The only area I'm really gonna leave out and not powder is gonna be here where I put my blush, because that's somewhere that I like to be nice and dewy. But definitely see getting here along the nose, just so that it doesn't look unnaturally glowy or like I'm sweating. I press powder. I used to go in and just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh with powder, and it would always end up that I'd be over powdered. So I like brushes like this. This is a Sephora Flawless Light Powder Brush. The way that it's shaped is so that you can press the powder on rather than trying to buff the powder in. If you are someone who has oily skin or really depends on powder and you like a lot of powder, then, you know, obviously you can use like a buffing brush and maybe you prefer that technique. But for me, the way that looks most natural and the way that looks best on my skin, the way that's not going to grab to texture, is if I am, you know, fairly careful and make sure that I am applying applying the powder in a kind of like tapping it on, pressing it in motion. So now we just want to get a little bit of warmth. We're going to use a bronzer. I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I use 2 medium. So something you can see in natural light is the shadow where my natural contour is. So I have enough of a natural contour that I'm just going to kind of build off of that to kind of pull up a little bit towards my ear and use that as my guide for bronzing. Just keeping basically my bronzer really high up just to lift the face. And I like to bronze always around my forehead and a little bit down the neck. Just, again, very light. You know, you'll notice that there's, I think, 3 Charlotte Tilbury products in this little routine. Her products are just really good for when you're going for very flattering, buildable makeup. I think that, again, one of the keys when you're trying to look like you're not wearing a lot of makeup is to make sure that the products you're using are very buildable, that they, you know, can go from very light coverage. And if you want them to be built up, you can. So that's one thing that Charlotte Tilbury's brand really has going for her. I spoke about that in my full face of Charlotte Tilbury, and it's just why you see a lot of her products in this, is because they are really good for this kind of makeup. So I'm just kind of bronzing the outside of my nose here. Whoop. And I feel like I need just a little bit right here on the chin. Where I place my bronzer just kind of shifts from day to day sometimes. Just depends on what I'm going for. And today I just kind of want to warm up a little bit and look a little bit more sun-kissed rather than super bronzed. Just kind of want to look like it's a little bit of a natural sun vibe going on, even though my natural sun vibe is burnt. All right, for lips, we're going to go back in with that Lip and Cheek Glow from Charlotte Tilbury. This does leave a really nice stain on the lips. It's a really beautiful product. So I just tap it into my lips. A few times. This is it. So at this point, I could go back in, and if I didn't feel glowy enough, I could add a little bit more of the Hollywood Flawless Filter or whatever highlighter I'm using that day. But this to me is really perfect. This is that perfect line of pepping myself up, looking, you know, a little bit brighter and more bushy-tailed for the day without having to spend a lot of time or put a lot of products on. This for me is like 5 minutes when I'm not, you know, explaining every step. I can do this in 5 minutes. It's really simple and easy, and it just feels really pretty, and I feel kind of good and ready to start the day and face the day. So this also wears off very evenly. I say that because I kind of like to go very like light coverage when I'm going to be outside by the pool, by the beach, doing things. You know, I want something very light, and I want it to wear off evenly, meaning I don't mind if by 9 p.m., you know, my makeup has faded some. I just want it to fade very evenly. And that is what this makeup does. It wears off very beautifully. It doesn't, you know, start to look patchy. It doesn't start to break down. Obviously, if you go in the water, a lot of it's going to come off, but it just looks nice when it's worn in, if that makes sense. And if you're in your house all day, if you work from home or you're at home with your kids, or, you know, you just are relaxing on a Saturday or a Sunday at home in the house, this makeup is going to last you through the day, and it just looks so, it just looks so fair. It looks like you put no effort in at all. It looks like you just happen to look really lovely when you wake up. I love this look for all those reasons, and I hope that you've enjoyed it too. Let me know in the comments below, what's your go-to like no makeup base? I really love this La Mer tinted moisturizer, but I'd love to know, what tinted moisturizers do you really enjoy? Which ones do you feel really make your skin just look like your skin, but better? I thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, you can always chat with me down below in the comments or over on Instagram. You take care of yourself. Bye.